Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Total protonic reversal.
Protonic reversal.
Protonic reversal with your host, Conan Neutron. Broadcasting from a secret underground lair in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
A gigantic middle finger to everything that is rotten about music, rock and roll, and corporate power.
The thing is, though, if you don't laugh, you're going to go on a killing spree with sharpened nails.
Confidence of a hero or a fool. I wasn't exactly certain which.
Could not be more professional.
It's only one I choose to devote my life to. That's okay.
It means something. It means something.
And they got away.
You know, that's my take on it. What's yours?
Protonic reversal.
That's like a science thing, right?
Indeed it is. It is a science thing, is a science place. It is a scientific fact. They were all up in your face. It is time once again for the one, the only Protonic reversal. Welcome to it. That's right, folks. Episode 345. 345. That's exciting. If you're into like numerology or something, I suppose. It's exciting for me just because I'm doing the show, but for all the numerologists out there. I got the Mighty Man of Maple Stave. They have a new record out, freaking finally, and I'm very excited to talk to them. We got two Chris's, an Evan and an Andy, and it's going to be a treat because they're all fantastic musicians, excellent dudes, and they made a hell of a record. So before we get into that, I'm going to do this thing where I talk before the show about what the show is. So welcome to Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. I'm your host, Conan Neutron. I'm a rock and roll lifer that's been touring and recording for 23 years, most known for the band Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends. Music is a huge part of my life, and I use the format of this very long-running podcast to talk about music with musicians whose work I enjoy and respect, but who may not be household names. This is episode 345. Now, if this is your first time listening to the show, archives of it are available for free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding, at protonicreversal.com. However, if you want to support the show and get episodes sooner, $1 a month at patreon.com/protonicreversal will achieve that goal. If you like the show, or even just a single episode, please feel free to like, subscribe on your platform of choice, share it around the internet, and even leave a review. All that helps people discover the show. It beats back the almighty algorithmic overlords, and it's just a darn nice thing to do. So there you go. Maple Stave dudes. Let's throw them on. Let's throw them on and talk to them about this record. Hey fellas, how's it going? Everybody give.
I figured out your theme song. I've just been playing your theme song while you've been talking. So
that was, well, you know it, so I mean, might as well. Yeah, I don't even play it. Like I'm like, that's a perfectly fine song. Why don't we play that?
Yeah. Did you rehearse that bit? You tried it out a couple times.
That's what we're busy with. Yeah, we can't be bothered doing it. No.
Yeah.
It's gonna kill. I'll do the pre-roll and then you be playing the theme.
Which way should I swing in from? Should I swing in from the left or the right?
I was going to come up from below, but the hydraulics are.
All right.
I can move everyone around if you want. It's gonna be more confusing. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
I can. This always makes me feel like those puzzle games where you have to like you make the picture if you move around the pieces. I don't know what those are called. Thank you. Anyway, gentlemen, welcome. Let's go around to everyone who is less familiar with the band can kind of get a sense for everyone who they are, what they do in the band, which voice belongs to which person, so on and so on. We'll start in the order that I just threw you around in. So, Chris, you go first. Williams. Damn it. God damn it. We're already off to a terrible start. Chris Williams, go, please.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Christopher Williams. I play baritone guitar and I sing.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Andy, you'd be next if they were going to.
Well, I don't know how.
I hope people know who I am. I don't know. Maybe they don't.
Hi, I'm Conan Neutron. Hi, Andy. I also play the baritone guitar. And I sing occasionally now, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Evan?
Hi, I'm Evan. I'm the drummer. I also sing sometimes.
You also sound better than the host of the show somehow. I don't know how that happened, but congratulations.
If you sound bad on an SM7, you can't sound good.
Right. Put it on the website.
Hire me, sure.
Tall Chris.
I am Tall Chris Rasmussen. I play drop D bass and standard bass, and occasionally sing.
Fantastic. When I was doing the titles for the show, I was like, oh, I don't have enough characters to include everyone's last names, so I'm like, all right, fine, Tall Chris. But because it's already in parentheses, I had to do the other parentheses, like the brackets. I'm like, God, that looks horrible. I hate everything about that. It looks if I saw that, I'd be like, what kind of amateur hour BS is this?
Having been in a band called Brackets, and
that's right.
A lot of conversation about how to incorporate the brackets into the band and how to make that. Yes, it looks very awkward.
Yeah, there's no getting around it. It's just the way it is, and it's. That's the beginning of it. What a fascinating conversation. Anyway, so I think that it's pretty incredible. This record's awesome that you guys put out. I really like it. Scott Evans recorded this, correct? At Electrical?
Correct.
Yes.
Kind of a interesting situation where, okay, so at this moment in time, the Maple Stave trio, Sans, Tall, Chris, is all at least in the same state now, right? Because I feel like you need like a flow chart.
I keep nodding and forgetting that this is also a podcast. So sorry. Yes.
Yes.
It's like on those live records where people clapping to something that you can't see. It's like, what are they clapping at? Is somebody doing an antic? What's happening? Like, I don't know.
Three of us are within 25 miles of each other.
And one of them is a lot further away, which would be the Chris who is tall.
That is correct. I am approximately a 6-hour flight away from Durham in Seattle, Washington.
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Are there other Seattles? Because I see there's always I feel like there's a million Springfields. There's an Oakland in like Pennsylvania. No, that was cracks me up.
I mean, I don't think so because it's for the city is named after, I'm sure I'll be corrected, but Native American chief South. So I would assume it's the only Seattle. I'm sure I'm wrong.
More you know.
So knowable.
No one's rushing to help you.
Yeah, no, they're just like, let him twist, man. Let him twist. He's the new guy. At least he didn't get Jason Newsted,
Are we sure I didn't?
I don't know. There's already a lot of low end in the band, so yeah.
But the bass could be louder. Let's get that out there.
So, for folks that know the current lineup of Maple Stave, that it's basically a 4-piece, but it did not start as a 4-piece for the vast majority of the band, right? Is that the sort of like? We got a lot to get to, and we don't want to waste a lot of time on it.
We have been a 3-piece for over 15 years, probably, and then Chris and I played in a band called Heather Loves Silkworm, where we played Silkworm songs 3 times. Did we play 3 shows? Practiced a lot of times, and then
we played in Pittsburgh. We played at John Solomon's house, and we played in Durham. Oh, and we played at the barbecue. We played 4 times. And at Thunderstone, we played 5 times. Holy crap!
5 times. Right, that's why we practice so much. So we played with Chris some, and then it made sense to let him play with us for reasons I don't clearly recall, but it made sense. So
what was it, like a freaking like a Make-A-Wish situation? Like, what was that?
Pretty much.
We all got a wish. We got a wish.
Yeah. Lucky us.
Not my wish.
Our wish was exactly. No, I don't know why.
Two
invited him, and he
2 of us wanted him in, and then Andy didn't, and then we overruled. So then,
Wow. Is that what happened?
Spill the tea. All right.
What I remember is that we were all in Chicago for a barbecue or whatever, and you all were playing, and I was just there, and we were hanging out. And I think you had just recorded the version of Thunderkiss 65 for the split with Conan, Neutron, the Secret Friends. And you were like,
never heard of them. Yeah, sorry.
And there's bass on it. And we recorded another song, and there's bass. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I want to play bass in this band. Like, what? There's bass now? Like, I've been seeing this band for 10 years or whatever. Like, I'd do that.
I've got a bass. I've got multiple basses. Yeah.
And then I think I may have said something maybe like, hey, next time we're all in the same place, maybe if you want, I could like hop on for those couple of songs and play bass. And I think somebody was like, sure. Or sure, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. And then it was when it was like, all right, we're all going to be a Thunder Snow. Like, do you want me to play bass in those two songs? It was like, yeah, here's all the songs we're playing. Yeah. Right.
It really makes sense to just have you awkwardly come up for two. And
then, yeah. Especially if they were like at different points of the set where like you come up, play, and then come back down. It's like, yeah. That's the only thing better than that is when people are instrument switching.
It's very satisfying to find out there are lower notes.
Chris Murphy.
It's really nice.
Peace and love. Yeah. So, but again, the double baritone. There's a lot of mid and low frequencies, even with the riffs already. So, fitting in and it's when there's something already tracked, that's easy enough, right? But how do you fit in with a band that's basically already got a pretty well defined sound and a well defined frequency range, Chris?
I mean, I'm sure these guys maybe have a different perspective, but I guess for myself, like, there's already a lot going on. Like there's a lot of parts and there's a lot of strings already, and like I feel like the best thing I can do is just like try to like hold down try to figure out the dumbest, simplest way to play these songs and lock in with Evan as like, and then, so like, if you were like, I feel like what I'm playing on bass is the like guitar tab for White Zombie's More Human Than Human version of these songs, where if you look at that guitar tab, it's just open E. Like that is for like measure after measure after measure.
E.
Yeah. That is that entire, like, I remember seeing the tab for More Human Than Human in Guitar World, and it's just E.
Somebody got paid to transcribe that. Can you imagine? Yeah. What a job.
So
I'll mute.
But that, and then I feel like, yeah, definitely sound wise, like, again, there's so much going on. It's like, I don't need a spaceship down at my feet. I don't need I just got to plug in, make sure it sounds good and that it's loud, but it's, I'm not drawing anything away from what's already going on there.
So, and Evan, as far as like changing, like the low end, basically changing, right? Like, having written songs and played songs for years with these fellas, like, did it change up how you were thinking about what you're doing drum wise, or you just kind of like follow me, watch the changes?
No, well, he said, find the dumbest, simplest way to play the song. That's what I've been doing for 20 years, is trying to find, like, come to an agreement between two guitarists who haven't really communicated about the number of times things will happen, and I'll be like, that's 6 of them and that's 8 of them. Okay, then we're gonna do this. So Chris and I work well together, but it does add. It's not between the guitars; it's lower than the guitars, but it makes things blend in a way that is really pleasing. And when he plays a really low note, it's really exciting. I don't know. It's after so many years of. Is it B? Do you play B? Is that a B string? I don't even know. Okay, you have B strings. Yeah. So to have like a lower string, it's super exciting. When he goes all the way
especially
down.
It's different. It's been that long. Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me when the first band that I played bass in was this band Racetrack. I played very, very high up, like very Peter Hook, like lots, very high. I mean, I was basically playing the lead parts, like what
Right.
would have been lead parts, but on bass. And then when I played in a different band after that, Police Teeth,
Who?
several guitar players. We later played with some friends of ours that Racetrack had played with a bunch, and then Police Teeth played a show with this band, and the guitarist in that band came up to me afterwards. He's like, I'm so proud that you discovered the low E note. Like, that's like
Good job.
yeah. I'm like, yeah, you're right, I did.
But that's the different bands call for different manner of playing as well. I don't know if there's a portmanteau for guitar and slander, but Andy Hull, would you like to answer to the earlier allegations from Evan?
But how is that slander?
It's more of an alternative fact situation. No.
No, I was actually. I think one of the interesting things about this, about having Chris play bass, is that a lot of these songs are really old at this point.
Right.
Like like half of the stuff on the record is like 7, 6, maybe older. So we've been playing these songs for a really long time, and then to have somebody like add a whole new part that comes in, and it's like, oh wow, this is super cool. But the only time we've really been able to experience that are like the couple of times that we've played live, and then being able to like kind of translate all that to the record, I think it was really, really interesting and cool. And it's going to be, I'm like really excited about kind of going forward, just like, because we don't have to like, if Chris is playing bass, then we don't have to like worry so much about like, well, where's all the low end going to come from? And it sort of like opens up a whole kind of like different approach to how we kind of write songs and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, does it give you kind of like a new excitement and make you think about it a different way almost, since it's like you've heard these things in these contexts for a while, and sometimes just having something new like makes you think about every part of it like a little bit differently?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's parts of
and sometimes it doesn't. That's a leading question. I'm sorry, that's a terrible.
No. But it's like I was saying, like it's. I mean, I think when we first started doing like 2 baritone guitars, I think Chris Williams and I we're very conscious of like having enough low end, especially live.
Yeah,
like
that's the biggest complaint with bands that don't have like bass, right? It's like, there's no low end. There's nothing that kind of hits you underneath.
Right. So and so, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, so we've been sort of like, well, how do we sort of split the difference there?
Yeah.
Have some and like still have, have interesting parts and all that sort of stuff. So when we've been playing the songs with Chris, I mean, there's parts that happen and I'm playing the same thing I've been playing for the last 8 years. And I'm like, whoa, what is that? Like, that sounds totally, I'm like, okay. Yeah. We got this other, okay. Yeah. The low notes. Wow. Okay, cool. Yeah. This is awesome. So
it's like having a surprise sax player or something. Whoa, what's that? Where'd that come from?
We were gonna get to that.
God. Sorry,
we fired
spoilers.
We fired them.
Oh, we did. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I can't do the saxophone.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was worth a shot.
Jordan from Reptoid has a visceral hatred of like almost all like brass instruments. It's a very specific thing for someone who does sound, where it's like, wow, that must be hard.
Like in all musical contexts, or just
not to his personal taste.
Rock. Okay,
he doesn't want to hear them. He gave us saxophone dispensation, but was very adamant about like trumpet, trombone. Nope, hates it.
Get out.
I was like, even Rock from the Crypt. He's like, it's not my favorite parts. I'm like, okay, fair.
I love brass
parts.
Chris Williams, how about bringing Chris in, having like that bass, that low end occupied? How has that changed things up for you? How's it changed up like the writing process, playing process, all that stuff?
Not at all. I mostly just ignore him, and I just only really pay attention to what. I don't know. Andy and I have had a thing over the years where we pay attention to what we're playing, obviously, to figure out how the songs will work. But I feel like there's a certain level where it's just like we like after doing it so many times, you don't necessarily key into what's going on. I know what Andy's going to play. And so, yeah, like he was saying, having Chris suddenly be there, it somehow totally changes the song that I know by heart, and it makes it so much better. So yeah, no, it's my only complaint with Chris playing is that he can't do it more than he does. So
logistically difficult. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is how we've achieved like the continuum of leadership is by having someone on the other coast. So if we all die on this side of the country,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like
have
the
someone. Yeah.
The secession, the order
Yeah.
of secession. What wasn't it? What was that? They made a show about this where I was like, oh god. And I think it's got Kiefer Sutherland, if I remember correctly.
I was
I might have actually seen it. Obviously, it made a huge impression. Anyway, go ahead.
I was on a work trip a year ago, and we were in Kansas City, and then we were all flying back to Seattle, and we were all on the same flight, and we were all like, "Oh, if this flight goes down, most of our department is gone."
Exactly.
We probably should have. Maybe we should have planned this differently.
Designated survivor. It's called designated survivor,
yeah.
and that's what it would have been if you had set aside someone to stick around to be the designated survivor.
The problem is that if I'm the one left, I'm only going to know what I'm doing, and
you're just sitting there.
Oh no! I think that goes for all of us. Like if something were to happen to Andy, like I have no clue what happens on Andy's side of the room. It's yeah.
Fantastic. Well, glad we got that sorted. So let's do the thing where, because the record is it's very new or actually isn't out yet, depending on when people are engaging with this. However people listen, there's no wrong way to listen, of course. Let's go through the songs on the record. But before that, I think it's got an evocative cover. Tell me about the cover. I don't know, Chris. I'm just going to make an assumption. Maybe you're the art director, but maybe that's wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
So let me throw it on the screen sorry, once again, as always, sorry, audio listeners, but there's stuff on screen you can't see. But anyway.
Yeah, it's actually a very tiny image that I found in the back of this science textbook from the 50s. And we, for whatever reason, we have a fascination with planes, and
I noticed, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we talk about planes a lot. So yeah, it was when I found it, I just kind of liked it. I liked the eclipse, and yeah, I don't know, something about it felt kind of right for what we were trying to do.
Yeah, it's sort of like June of 44 is to like nautical imagery, Maple State is to planes.
Yeah, they had already taken nautical imagery, and as much as I tried to shoehorn it into lyrics and stuff like that, it just, Yeah,
you gotta take another branch. It's fine.
Like, damn it, Jeff.
How dare you? First of all, how dare you? Secondly. Cool. Yeah, no, it's a good, I think you guys, all your stuff has all really good art and covers, very evocative. And
thanks.
Looks really good on the LP, which I have rocked earlier today and recently. So, so before we go into the next bit, and this is just let's do a song by song on the record. Yep. So basically, we're gonna each song, we're gotta go through it, and let everyone get a different opportunity to go first, and then to say whatever you want about it. It could be something like, where the title came from, something like lyric wise, a guitar riff, whatever, anything that crosses your mind for it. No wrong answers, but it's just a way to give a little context for a new record for folks to, is that funny? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh, no,
just our titles. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's not like Minus the Bear or something. That's kind of like the nadir of that. But Don Caballero, it's like,
they're pretty good.
Don Caballero, pretty good. Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Sure, we had knives around.
So let's do that. And basically, everyone will get the chance to talk and opine about it. Hopefully, not steal each other's answers. Keep it civil. So we'll start off. Chris, you're the last one to talk. Let's Chris Williams. Why don't you go first? Because if we're in this like kind of like, what do you call it? The thing. where there's the totem pole. Yeah, totem pole. You're on the totem pole, top of the totem pole underneath me. So, I don't know how it worked out that way. Indian Ocean, present day. What's that one?
This song explanation is going to start off real strong. That is the first Chiron that shows up in Top Gun.
the original Top Gun.
The original Top Gun, yeah. And it is actually, the lyrics are sort of told or from the perspective of I think it's Cougar that flames out at the beginning of Top Gun. Yeah, that he can't take the pressure, and it's sort of with a lot of these songs, there's going to be stuff about depression, medication, and things like that. It's like, it's not something that I think we necessarily hang our hats on, but it's like, we all struggle with stuff, and so that works its way into a lot of the lyrics. I don't think there's any particularly funny lines in the song, but yeah, it is about a character from Top Gun.
There you go. Andy, anything to
add? No, I love the song, I love the name, and I love that it's about Cougar. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes. Anything with the guitar stuff or anything too? That's also a thing you could talk about as well.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
Anything with the guitar stuff. I don't know. This one's kind of weird. I was actually trying to figure out when we wrote the song. Because like I said, there's kind of a mix of like pretty old songs and some like really kind of new songs on here. But yeah, it seems like this was a long time ago. And I was trying to remember,
we wrote this in
how we got around it.
I think we wrote this in like 2017.
Yeah.
So it's like yesterday for Maple Save Time, right? I mean, that's like
exactly.
That's pretty
yeah.
Bush was president when we wrote this one. Oh, okay, all right.
We finally got around to recording it, so there it is.
Yeah, we wanted to be topical, but turns out that some of these MySpace references didn't really get over. So,
I mean, we wrote it right after the first Top Gun came out, so
right, exactly.
I've basically been writing the song since then.
You did write it way before there was a Top Gun 2, so I mean,
yes,
that, like
we tried to get it in the movie, but
no.
Can I say that is not a sequel that I really expected was going to come to pass? Like that was sort of like, really? There's going to be a Top Gun sequel?
Yeah, I was so happy.
But furthermore, I wasn't mad at it. I was like, actually, it's pretty good. It has no business being in Best Picture consideration, but the planes did indeed go zoom, if that's what you're looking for.
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
I like plot personally, but whatever.
5th gen fighters, dude. 5th gen.
There's one more gen.
Too many gens. Anything else, Andy? On that one?
No, that's all I got on that one.
Okay. Evan, you're up.
So this is a continuation of, we have a lot of songs that reference Tom Cruise, not only about Top Gun, but for some reason I don't remember why we started doing that, but we had there's Cole Trickle. He was a race car driver.
Days of Thunder, yeah.
Yeah. So we've had a variety of Tom Cruise themed songs, but this one, I think I suggested this title because I really liked the beginning of this song, and it sounds like the beginning of a movie to me.
Well, I can hear that. Sure. Okay.
And the drums are supposed to, I mean, this is all going to get very pretentious. I'm very sorry.
You are aware of this show, right?
So
that's like my love language. Thank you. Go ahead.
I went to Canon music camp several times and was a classically trained percussionist. So that kind of shit works its way into the drumming stuff for me. So just playing the drum kit as, now these are timpani. Now these are, so this one seemed like a very cinematic song to me. And also this one has John Hasty singing at the end, and
that's right,
Dixie Jacobs singing at the end, and it takes it to another level. That was the whole recording process, having everybody sing and stuff, and actually hearing things come together was revelatory about these songs. Especially when they're this old, it was.
Well, yeah, because you spend so long sitting with them. Yeah, you sit with them for so long, right? Yeah, and then they're like, oh wow. Did you have any like, oh, you're playing that moments, or was it pretty apparent?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, huh.
Yep.
But I don't think we had any.
What I'm doing.
We didn't have. I know on previous recordings we had the you play that moment after doing a take and then going back in and going, okay, so maybe you don't play that. Maybe you play this instead. After years, like, oh wait, these notes don't go together.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That can be that can go a couple ways. Yeah. Sometimes maybe you get the like waiting on the bus, Jesus left Chicago thing, and sometimes you don't. Anything else, Evan, on that one?
No.
Tall Chris, you're up.
So I will say that I have never actually seen Top Gun, but I did go see Top Gun 2 in the theater.
All right. Well, Conan, if you want to cut Chris and just
exactly.
Chris is out.
That'd be a good visual gag to just remove him off. Of the
but
I wouldn't do that. But
yeah. I do remember seeing them play the song live before I started playing with them, probably in like 2018 or something, and at that point the 5 EP, which is over on the right there on the Bandcamp page.
I was gonna say, it's on screen.
Which I love. I think that EP is awesome. The songs are so fucking great. And this might have been the first time I saw them play something new. And I just remember them starting with that and being like, that song's awesome. And like specifically going up to them and being like, that new song you played first is fucking rad. That song's really, really good.
Which is funny because like at that point we'd been playing that song. We'd played it several times, and I was kind of like, it's fine, but I think this will be one that we play like for a little while, and then we just kind of drop it. And I remember you coming up after we played it or played the set, and you're like, that was really good. Oh, okay. Well, I guess now we just play the song. Okay, cool. So thanks.
Sometimes you need that outside kind of person coming in to tell you, no, that's good. What are you doing? Don't do that. There's other ones you can drop. Maybe that one though.
But I mean, I think this was outside of the 2 songs that we'll get to that already had like bass parts. This was probably the first one I kind of like. So most of my like writing bass parts coming up with this is like 2 practice recordings that they have sent me, which it's generally me going, is that the note or is that the note? And
everybody's favorite game, yes.
And then me overdubbing my bass parts on top of the practice recordings and sending it back and being like, is that okay? Yeah. And this seemed like it went over well. So I think technically this is probably the first song I played live with Maple State. I would guess this was the first song I played live with you guys. But yeah, I think good song. Good job, guys.
Good job.
Good job. So good luck in Green Bay. This is going to be you starting this one, Andy. How about this one? Tell me about it.
So this is one of, we have 3 instrumental songs here. So this is one of them. This is another old song. And for the longest time, we just called this song Jehu. Because I don't know, we were like, this sounds like a Drive By Jehu song. Which tracks, because about 70% of the time I'm trying to write a Hot Snakes or a Drive By Jehu song when I sit down to write a song. So it was like, yeah, cool, that makes sense. And then at some point we changed the name to Good Luck in Green Bay because we started a whole bit about Green Bay. Is that right? And then we were like, okay, we'll name a song after Green Bay. I don't remember where the Good Luck in Green Bay came from, but yeah, it's a fun song. The drumming is insane on the song. as it is on most songs of ours. But yeah, it's so much fun to play, and yeah, it's another oldie but a goodie. So yeah.
Evan,
cool. This is my favorite song to start way too fast.
5 starting way too fast songs. Go.
There's always when we go to play the song, Evan will click it off, and Andy and I will just look at each other, and it's like, ooh, it's ambitious. Here we go.
Here we go.
There we go. Strap in.
Should be doing Green Bay warm-ups. You know?
It's I think it is Good Looking Green Bay because we're named it after Good Looking Jail to keep the Jehu element.
The Jehu.
Oh, right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And we do have a Green Bay. We know a lot of facts about Green Bay. And
all right.
So
does everyone want to rattle off their Green Bay fact? Their favorite?
I don't have one on me right now.
I mean, 20.
Well, Green Bay fact is that Space Jam was filmed entirely in Green Bay.
On location. Yeah, not in like it was all sets built outside because it was all natural light. All magic hour, just like Days of Heaven.
Right. That because of the time of year. The time of year they had to do it in Wisconsin. And Green Bay was clearly cheaper than Milwaukee for locations. So
yeah.
So that's a real Green Bay fact.
There you go.
But yes, it's fast and hard to play, and I like it a lot.
Great. So, Chris?
So this was one of the ones that had a bass part on it, on like I think it was done the same time as the early version of Thunderkiss 65. I guess what I don't know as somebody who plays on this record but comes in sort of when the song's done, like, was this always an instrumental, or was this just like a like shit, I can't sing over this, I guess I don't know what I don't know how I don't know how a song is determined to be instrumental versus like a song that's going to have vocal parts.
I think I came up with the main riff on the song, and then for some reason just there wasn't any singing that went along with it. Yeah, I don't remember, and I don't think we ever were like, hey, is there going to be singing on the song or not? It just sort of got decided along the way.
Because there's definitely been songs that, like, because I was going off of practice recordings where I couldn't hear any vocals or anything, and then we would practice, like, you'll have a quick practice before a barbecue or a Thunder Snow or something like that, where it's just like, we got to play this as quickly as possible, and then we actually get on stage and play, and it's like, oh, they're singing there.
Oh, what a treat! Yeah, no, I had no idea. Yeah.
So I would say at least half of these songs I didn't know whether they were instrumental or had vocals until like on stage.
Yeah.
Except for this one, because there was a recording of it, so I knew this one was instrumental to begin with. But
it's a wild way to operate.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Chris Williams.
I really like playing the song. It's a lot of fun. I think that I think I just couldn't figure out for most of the songs if there's no singing, it's probably because I couldn't figure out where to put vocals or how they would work out or something like that. Because it's sometimes, even though I've been playing guitar for well over half my life, it's still very difficult for me to sing and play guitar sometimes. So even though I played something totally different on Indian Ocean that was way more noodly and whatever, but yeah, for this it just didn't come to pass. So
all right. Yeah. Any other Green Bay facts before we move on?
Don't get us started.
The only one the one that comes to mind is that the what was it, the DC hardcore scene actually started in.
That's true.
Yep. Fact.
All right, fact.
All right.
Look it up.
As my friend used to say, look that up in your funkin' wagnalls.
Yeah.
Right. Evan, French song, the single.
French song.
Yeah.
French song is called French song because I thought it sounded French before anyone was singing. I don't know why.
Right.
I don't have anything to back that up. It's got cymbal chokes, which rule. And it was very confusing to my father. It was fun. We listened to it in the car. I was taking him to an eye doctor appointment, and that was probably the most confusing one to him because he's trying to grab onto something at the beginning, and it's nearly impossible if you don't play the song. So,
and even if you play the song,
even if you play the song, sometimes it's hard to grab on.
Go, yeah.
Yep. But it resolves into, out of that comes just the most beautiful vocal stuff with Chris and Dixie on this song. It's just so pretty. That totally changed in the studio. It was really fun to see happen. That's what I got.
Tall Chris.
I think this was one of the. I feel like so. This I think the first time I played this with the band live was I'd already played one show, so I'd already learned a chunk of songs, including at least a couple of songs off the EP. And then the next time we played, it was no more of the EP songs, or maybe one. We kept one of the EP songs at that point. So this sort of felt like the first song that I had played with them that was in some ways there was a little more. There was more space for the bass to come in, or it felt like there was there's sort of an expectation that bass is going to come in or fill in some stuff here. And I still have to count that beginning part to make sure it's the correct 1, 2, 3 that I'm hitting the right
at the right time. Yeah.
If you probably look closely enough, if playing live, you'll probably see me counting to myself, still moving my lips. Which the band in Seattle that I was playing in around the same time, brackets, as I mentioned earlier, was the first band I'd been in that really I'd ever played not in. There wasn't, most of the songs weren't just in 4.
Just 4, but syncopated. But there's actually different time signatures.
Yeah. But this is the first time where it was actually stuff. That band was the first time I'd really played stuff this part's in 7 and this is 5 and this is 9, and then it switches and the first time when that band was brackets was practicing, we would be playing in 5, and I would have it, and then I would eventually fall back into playing in 4, and they just have to stop and be like, "You're playing in 4 again," and then we'd go, and then I'd eventually creep back into 4 and be like, "You're playing in 4." I'm like, "Dude, this is my other bandmates. I'm really sorry. I just played indie rock for 12 years. I don't know how to do anything else. Just give me time."
Yeah.
And so I felt like that was at least I had some background in playing in not just counts of 4 coming into this. But I'd say not Dixie, our friend Dixie, who is also an awesome band, Body Futures. Her vocals are awesome. I also really love when Evan, his backing vocals come in the one of the ending sections. I think that sounds great. And I mean, that was really one of the joys of making this record, and was just sort of getting to sit back and hear everybody else.
Right. You actually get to hear it.
Yeah, do their shit and hear it in
Who knew?
While they're tracking vocals in the control room in Studio B at Electrical, and to actually of course everybody's on headphones first, so all you're hearing is the vocal, and then Scott plays it through the monitors, and I love when Evan's vocals come in on that part, which I think there might have been something where Dixie didn't want to say the word cocksure.
She wouldn't say cocksure. No,
Yeah.
she was not prepared to say that word. So. I don't.
But I love your vocal part on there, Evan. That helps. That's great.
Chris Williams.
Yeah, I was just looking at the lyric sheet. This song is a real cosmic gumbo, if you will, of stuff. Dixie helped me. Dixie helped me kind of work out this song.
You do have them. Oh, look at that. Hey.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Like a hidden button. Okay.
I could just look at the screen. Yeah.
No, I could do that
because it's I've got there's references to Barton Fink, to Vertigo, and there's also a reference to it gets too confusing to really talk about, but there was a previous version of the band Maple Stave that I was in before it was with other people, and we released something called What Brought the Summer Stayed, and that ends up being a line in the song. So yeah, there's just a whole lot in the song, and Dixie absolutely, like everyone, just rightfully so. Everyone loves Dixie singing on the song, and she just takes it to a whole different level. And when she is not there to sing it with us, like it doesn't quite feel complete. So yeah.
Nobody hates this song yet, but they will once they hear it on the record. Every time we play it without Dixie, they're like,
I thought it was good. It was terrible. Yeah,
you can drop that one.
I also have to, because I start singing at the very beginning of the song, I am also having to count. I'm having to play and count sevens because it's all sevens at the beginning, right? Yeah. So I'm having to count 7 while singing and strumming, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get better at it. I think I've kind of reached the pinnacle of my ability to do all of those things at once, and
it's a lot to do.
It's all just downhill from here. So
yeah. Even when you know how to do it, like I hate it, man. I don't like it at all. That's why you never hear that stuff in my. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. No way. Peace and love to those who want to, but not for me. It sounds great, but it looks great on you. Yeah, okay. Andy, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, just kind of like what everybody else said. I mean, I really like I think this is for me when we're sitting down to write songs or arrange them or whatever. I love this idea of like kind of mixing, like Evan was saying, like some weird stuff that like you really can't get a hold of. It's very, it's complicated and sort of kind of all over the place, and then having that come together and sort of like the second part or like the kind of chorusy part, or this is the first part of the song with Dixie singing, and it's like kind of a straightforward riff, and it's just sort of like, and then you like kind of fall apart again and then come back and all that sort of stuff. I mean, like that's pretty much what we've been doing from the beginning, but like this combined with vocals and like being, a little bit more mature or playing more or whatever, like it's, I don't know, it's kind of come together, and like you can see how we're moving in a new yet old direction all at the same time. So it's really cool. It's a great song. Do you say so myself?
So we're going Tall Chris, Downtown Julie Brown.
Yeah.
See, I sort of highlighted them.
So this is another instrumental, which I don't know who wrote. I also don't know who came up with the initial.
Make wild speculations. It'll be great. I heard it was ghostwritten by Desmond Child, is what I heard. But anyway,
I guess, is this more of a Chris riff than an Andy riff? Or is this an Andy riff?
This is Andy.
Andy. All right. I will say I think whenever we play this song live, the ending section, like there's like a dropout and it's just Andy playing, and then everybody else comes back in, and that is like one of the funnest things to play live. Is just I think like, especially I think this band like does a really great job with arrangements and figuring out like when people should drop out and like how to make every like how to keep a song constantly building and getting bigger and bigger, and like that ending section is just always great to play. It's the only time that I do play any I have any effects on bass is that ending section. Everything else is just straight into the amp, no DI. I think Scott had one mic on the bass cab.
Yes.
And then this section, like the ending section of this, I play through the Rat pedal clone that your former bandmate Ben Adrian made for me a very long time ago. But it's
that the Rasmussen, if I remember correctly?
The Rasmussen, yes. But it's I mean, the song's always super fun to play.
Chris Williams.
I don't know what to say about this song. I really enjoy playing the song a lot. We had a song that we played for a long time called Hang Die, and this reminds me of like, I don't know, it's like that Hang Die was a lot of fun to play. This kind of feels like a more mature version of what we were doing in that song, which that came out of my face, and I felt super pretentious saying that. Like, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed playing this song a lot. Which, I mean, I hope so. We wrote the song, so if
that was on the blue one, Hang Die, the one with the really long title. The rain did the thing, and some other stuff happened.
Like rain freezing and thawing between bricks year after year. This house will come down. Yeah, I got that's an Aquid reference. There are no Aquid references on this album, I don't think. No. There aren't. Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a lot of new Aquid material to
Exactly.
Oh, but there's just so many years to mine. So I mean,
Andy.
I will say that I think the name of the song was just something I pulled out of thin air, which I tend to do sometimes at practices when we're naming songs. If I remember correctly, because we were like, what should we call this song instead of New Guy 2 or whatever it was? Downtown's Julie Brown. It was like, okay, great, done, name. So that's great.
Cool. I'm a big fan of giving things actual names, even if they don't stick around. Because like New Riff 1 is like, well, which one is New Riff 1?
Yeah.
Now we're on New Riff 9. Who cares about that?
Yeah. Wait. Do you mean New Chris 2 or New Chris 3?
Right. Exactly.
There's so many set lists that have New Guy on it. They just have New Guy written as a song. It's New Guy.
Yeah.
Evan, how about this one?
This one this is one of the ones we recorded with Chris at a barbecue upstairs in a super hot room.
Oh, at the what's that place called? The
Wholesome.
Yes.
Wholesome Recordings. Yes. Which was amazing. It was the former like president's office of the Wurlitzer Organ Factory. And it was rad. It was strange. There were cameras all over the place, and we did it very, very quickly, but it came out all right.
Yeah, I remember the video for that. That's on YouTube or something, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They did a good job.
It's on realplayer.com. Of course. It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes. If you
my Friendster profile, let's check it out. Yeah.
It's changed some since then, but this is the song where there used to be more songs where I would go crazy and everyone else would have to leave sometimes. I'm a little more stable these days. But this is the one that had me like doing the Tony Hawk thing where you couldn't nail the trick and just do it again 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 for that part where we drop out. And I was kind of losing my mind. And Scott did exactly what he needed to do. He really was very hands off for most of the session. He understood what kind of band we were and could tell what we needed sometimes, like vocal takes and stuff like that, and would say, "Hey, how's that snare?" if I needed to tune the snare. But this one, he came out of the room because I was just being kind of petulant about not getting things right and getting angry. And he's like, "Hey, grow up. Stop being a baby. This might be the last time you get to play in this room." I was like,
"Damn, dog.
You are exactly right." And I snapped out of it. And it took like 1 or 2 more takes. And then we got it.
Scott does get that good big dad energy, though, where we're just
it has to. Yeah.
Well, that's it. He like came back in and was like, "Oh, how's Evan?" He's like, "Oh, he's fine." Yeah, we're gonna go again. Okay.
Yeah. Well, hey.
Yep.
The right man for the job. The right tool for the occasion.
Yeah.
Chris, it's back up. Williams, damn it, God, pound it. Cincinnati hairpiece.
Yeah.
Is it before you tell me what it means? Is like we have say Pennsylvania valet, which is literally just a car thief.
I don't.
Oh, right.
Is it something like that?
Or like Pittsburgh toilet?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I think that this
is the street. Yeah.
This is really just 2 words that we stuck together. I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a deeper meaning behind it.
Yeah. No. I think it just got written. I think we called it Cincinnati, and then it was like hairpiece, Cincinnati hairpiece, and that's what it got written on a dry erase board as.
Have you guys ever played Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Cincinnati?
Wait, have we?
Cincinnati in Cincinnati?
No, we played Newport, Kentucky, right?
It's the greater Cincinnati metro area.
Yeah.
That's like most fans who've played Fargo, North Dakota, have really only played in Moorhead, Minnesota, which is on the other side of the river. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm curious because they played there on last Friday, actually.
Oh, that's
we're going
right.
to Cincinnati this time.
Yes.
This time we're going to proper Cincinnati in September. So, and we'll bring this song.
I'm super curious as their feelings about WKRP. I'm very curious about it. I still don't have an answer.
Do you want us to check for you?
Yeah, if you don't mind, yeah. Please do it from stage, dude.
Oh, okay, yeah. We have no problem saying things that don't make any sense from the stage. So, so yeah. Let's see. So, as nonsense as the title of this song is, the song is sort of about the Damascus missile explosion of 1980, where a worker dropped a socket and it punctured a fuel tank.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah,
and so
I wasn't there, but I remember.
Oh God, yeah, no, I hope not. It punctured the fuel tank and it caused the missile to explode in the silo, and it ejected a 9 megaton warhead out of the silo, and luckily it all the safety things were in place, so it didn't go off. But so yeah, this is sort of about that, from a person's perspective who is the cause of that and who is going through some issues, and so.
Did I do that?
You've heard the song. That's the chorus.
On a very special episode.
Yes.
Wow. That's some pretty big incongruous elements between the title and the content there.
Yeah. And then other than that, this is another one. We've been playing this for a long time now, but this is still a really fun one for us to play, and I get to really scream a lot. And I still don't know how to do that correctly, so I usually start hiccuping about halfway through the song, which is great and makes it really easy to scream. So yeah.
Andy?
Yeah. This song, I think more than any other song on this record, I will preface this by saying I think that this whole record, all the songs on here sound exactly like how I wanted them to sound.
Nice. That's awesome.
Or kind of like how you have it in your head while you're standing there playing it a million times in practice space. But this song in particular was like, I had this very specific idea of how this was going to turn out, and it was like, yes, this is exactly it. And we added all these, again, we added like more vocals and things on it and all that sort of stuff, which was kind of unexpected. And it was like, yeah, this is totally awesome. So, yeah, again, it's just, for me, this is one of those that just really, it was like, I could just take what's in my head and just record it. This is exactly what happened here. It's really cool.
Evan?
Yes, agreed. That's how I feel about the record too. I've never gotten to hear the songs how I thought they already sounded. Was kind of how it came out, which was remarkable. This one is a super fun song to play. It has the part in the middle where it's just Andy and I hitting the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and trying to stay locked in. And yeah, the lyrics for this and the general feel of it, I think, are really emblematic of sort of, or illustrative or whatever, of the tense and sad, not resigned, sort of scared and anxious feeling that a lot of this record has, that I think came out of being locked up for a few years and going through some stuff. Yeah, this is a very upsetting story about someone who may have had things go really poorly and their life was already in shambles. And I like the song a lot, and my very talented wife helped us make a video for it a few weeks ago, which is really fun. And it's not out yet. It'll be out in the middle of next month. So I like it a lot.
Very cool.
Chris isn't in it. Sorry.
But he is speaking about it next.
So not only am I on the other side of the country, I also had foot surgery about 6 weeks ago. So I had about a month where I couldn't put weight on my foot. So I was just literally in bed pretty much for an entire month. So I have only recently been cleared to where I can actually come down to my basement and, on stairs and stuff, which is great.
Are you finding that like mundane activities that you were annoyed by before, like, hell yeah, I get to walk down these stairs?
I'm like, I get to go take the dog for a walk. This is awesome.
That's great.
Also, I have lost all the muscle in my calf. So it's like, I get to go take the dog for a walk. Oh, I'm like a baby deer taking its first step.
Right. Yeah.
I think this song's awesome. I think this is another one again where I was like, oh, there's vocals. Cool.
What a pleasant surprise. Huh.
Yeah.
And then, when we were actually recording and so it wasn't just like live being like, oh, there's vocals. And then actually hearing what the song's about, I'm like, oh, I didn't know anything about that. I got to look at Wikipedia.
What's a Cincinnati hairpiece?
I usually assume it's a sex act I'm not familiar with. But...
Oh, hey now.
Like I'm the monster. I'm
yeah, right.
Monster.
I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm saying I didn't know what it was. Sorry, please continue. Yeah.
I think kind of like getting back to some of the like what they're saying, like, this is how you imagine this band sound, like as somebody coming from outside who
was a fan of the band before you even
first time I saw these guys was in 2010 at one of the PRF barbecue events. We were all staying at the same house. I had never heard them, and then they set up and play, and it's just I was just like this band is really fucking good.
Yeah.
And then having gotten to see them more and more over the years and like enjoyed their records, like I mean if I wasn't even if I like I think this record is great. I think it sounds awesome. Like if I wasn't on this record, like I would be like just as stoked about getting to hear it and enjoy it. And like having gotten to record at Electrical Audio a couple of times before then, I mean the whole session like we got to do there was just phenomenal. And yeah, luckily I got to, my Make-A-Wish came true.
Should have aimed higher. This is
Right.
Yeah.
So I slight tangent. One of my best friends growing up, he had a friend who through the Make-A-Wish Foundation got to. This was before the first Ninja Turtles live action movie came out.
Is that how you measure time?
Yeah.
This is my friend and his friend.
BTMT.
Exactly.
They got to see a
BTMT.
preview of this and the preview of the Ninja Turtles movie, and they got like animation cells and like prototypes of toys that never came out, all this stuff. And my friend comes back, he's got all these, he's talking about all the stuff, and I'm like, what? Why don't I get to do the Make-A-Wish Foundation? Like, I'm not. I'm 8 years old. I'm not putting together that like
that there might be another reason. Sure. Yeah.
I definitely I think it had to be explained to me like this isn't like this isn't like one of those like Nickelodeon like you won a prize thing.
Yeah,
like,
it's not Double Dare.
Yeah.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise is actually based on a specific endangered species of turtle that's only found in the sewer system of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Fact.
Which is a fact.
Wow. Fact.
Look it up.
There you go. More Green Bay facts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up.
Cool attitudes. What we got next? Oh, wait a minute. Right here. And I think that's Andy now, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Cool attitude. Oh, if you're playing along at home, this is the start of the second side of the record. So
that's true. Yeah, I listened to it.
Available.
I know that well.
Stave.com. This is the third instrumental song on the record. Fairly new. We wrote this a couple years ago. Pandemic times. I remember when I was trying to come up with some parts for this. I was like, I'm going to write a Chavez part here. And somehow it came out how it did. And it doesn't sound anything like Chavez. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then that happened. So.
What a story.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I can see it. It's got that kind of like, it's like harmonious, but like kind of got that kind of sneaky pseudo prog going on. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with that. So, and then I can't remember how we came up with his name. I think Chris, you said something, and I just said, "Man, cool attitude." And we're like, oh,
that's it.
Yeah, on the board.
Done. That's all of my riveting stories.
Evan.
Yes, this is one of the ones that was definitely in the middle of the pandemic stuff, right after we'd started practicing again, I think. And we were sort of learning how to practice again and how to write songs again. And a lot of the drum stuff for this is me just trying to work out different ways to play. There's stuff that can I do a roll from the snare to the kick? I don't know how to do that. I'm going to make myself do it a lot of times in one song.
That's like doing lots of reps basically for drums.
It's exercises. Yeah. It's like doing rudiments. Like, can I play this sort of drum machine beat and add little one part at a time? Yeah, I love this song. This is the one that Seamus likes?
Yeah, this is my 15-year-old son. He's seen us play a number of times, and this is the only song that he admits that he likes.
Yep.
Like, you guys are gonna record? Are you gonna record Cool Attitude? yeah, we are. Like, oh, okay, cool.
So, quick.
At least he likes one. I mean,
yeah.
Quick Chavez crosstalk. There was a time when you actually wrote a Chavez part, wasn't there? You accidentally
Yes,
wrote a part.
accidentally.
oh, you have a part there. Like, this part's so sick.
We're
You're
like,
oh,
so
it's
sick.
this.
Fuck.
Yeah. I was like, this sounds like something though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I feel like I'm usually that guy in a band who's like, yeah, you literally just wrote a Superchunk song. Sorry. Like,
but the fill that I was chasing and taking forever doing it in Downtown Julie Brown is a James Lowe fill that is just his that I took.
Right.
So because I do that, I'm a thief.
Wow. I mean, is he even using it right now? Is he even playing? Yeah, wasn't using it. Just sitting there lying around.
And around.
Chris, not a jury in the world, etc. Yeah. It's always going to be you're a different person, so it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Too. It's a different player. So there you go. Anything else on that or
no?
Okay, tell Chris.
Yeah. So I think so. This was like the first thing when so the first time I played with Maple Stave was February 2019, and then at Thunder Snow in Michigan, and then I played with y'all the PRF Barbecue that June of 2019, and then played Thunder Snow again February of 2020, which there was definitely a lot of like, should we be sharing like cups? Like, maybe I won't drink out of the bottle that's getting passed around. Like, I hear there's this thing. So, coming out of the pandemic or wherever we are in the pandemic, like this was like the first new thing that I had worked on that they sent me. So I think when we played Caterwall in Minneapolis in 2022. I think this was like the most new thing that we played. And I guess to me, this song has there's just this like feel to it that's a real like roll, do. Like
yeah.
Like I don't know if it's sort of a jaunty like pirate sailor vibe.
Like some Steve Doors just chilling
in the chorus, like
swaggering about.
Yeah. I think this was also where I really realized I'm like, I think I got to play the majority of these songs in drop D, so I have that extra like note, like lower note to go to.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally on the beginning of the song, I just come in with like this dong, and I was like, oh yeah, bring in some of that Seattle sound here. Really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like 4th of July. Chris Williams, Cool Attitude.
Yeah, this is one that I mean, I'm lucky enough to play. Like, I have a short list of favorite musicians, and I'm lucky enough to play with my favorite bass player, my favorite guitarist, and my favorite drummer. And this song, I absolutely. Not that I dislike anything that they do on any other song, but I absolutely love everything that everyone does on this song. So I'm sorry to let everyone down. But
we're here to pick you up.
Yeah. And
there were 2 sets of footprints. Actually.
2 sets of yeah.
And funny thing, I also my part. I was trying to write a Chavez part for the song. That's,
right. It's good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, solid callback.
But I did. Oh, you saw it. Yeah, I mean, that was coming a mile down the track. I did actually buy. Chris, you told me what delay pedal to buy during COVID, and the only reason I'm able to play the song is because of the delay pedal that I got. So,
yeah. I do want to say, I think this song has probably the most production moment, if you will, that Scott Evans, which is that the very end of the song ends with just the snare hit, and you just hear that like Studio B at electrical,
just that
like,
room, yeah.
I mean, and that room, like the first time I recorded in that room, and my bandmate at the time, Neil Markowski, when he set up drums and played in that room, I mean, the moment drums play in that room, you're just like,
yeah, it's pretty good.
That is the drum sound that, like, since I heard In Utero when I was 11, that I have wanted to have on a record, and like that room just has that. And
I mean, if you're into that kind of thing,
it's not
really my deal, but
good sounding drums,
But I
like drums that sound terrible, but
I do love that. I feel like that was like Scott was like, you should just end it with like just a snare hit. Like that was definitely that was a production decision, arrangement idea.
Sure.
He gets points on that song.
Lucky guy.
Like what is it? The Clear Mountain Pause. Remember that before the era of digital recording?
Yeah,
he was known for that. It's a Clear Mountain Pause.
No, that room was so fun to play in. It was just fun to play in. Recording was an extra thing. Just getting to play in that room was so great.
Yeah,
John
especially as a drummer, especially. I mean, Jesus Christ.
John Houlihan of the great Risk Reward said when they went up there and set up, he was just playing in there forever, just playing drums forever and ever and ever and ever until Steve came over the headphones. He's like, take it easy, you got the job.
It's good. Evan, Done I Guess 85. You heard of this one?
I have. It is referencing a song that was already referenced. Why did we name? I don't know why we named it this. I think we were just watching that video of Yaz a lot.
Yeah.
Then, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I found out that like they couldn't. We could name it Thunder Kiss 85, and like there were no legal ramifications. So it's like, okay,
right.
The lawyers for good.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if you guys knew that Police Teeth had covered Thunder Kiss 65.
I was gonna get to that one when it got to your turn, but yeah.
I don't think so.
What is a Thunder
No, I
Kiss,
think we
anyway?
did.
What is that?
And that's why we did it in reaction to that. No.
Is like a weather event? No.
This is one of the ones that's a lot of fun to play because it has the straight time against the other things happening, and that our band is really fun to do that with. I'm very lucky. Like Chris was saying, I mean, I play with the most creative people I've ever played with in this band. I mean, I love playing all different kinds of music, but this is constantly surprising and constantly challenging. And I have to keep learning new things all of the time to get to play with these guys. So,
well, and that excitement comes through too. Like it's palpable, which that's nice.
Good. Yeah.
Like as a listener, that's nice.
Good.
I'm into that kind of thing. Maybe you're not, but
I'm into excitement. I'm into good times.
Yeah, in excitement and good times. Do you like Joy? Have you heard of this?
I like Joy. I'm into it.
Tell Chris.
So this was another song that there was bass on that, I was like, oh, if you guys want to have a little bass live, I can tickle that dog.
It was so weird that you said it like that.
Yeah.
It was weird. Yeah. We didn't know how to say no.
And you were playing it up here at the time too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was like,
I thought that's what they wanted.
Yeah. You like this, right?
I pro gear, pro attitude. That's what I bring.
Sure. Understood.
No, I think the song's awesome. Like, I think the earlier recording is great. Like, I don't even think there's anything different arrangement wise. Like, it's pretty much like pretty locked in. And this is the one song where I have backing vocals on this song, and I was listening to this earlier today, and I was trying to remember, like, when Chris and I were in the studio working, I was like singing, we're singing along, and I've got the lyrics or whatever, and then we go in and I'm actually singing against his track. Well, first of all, I was like getting levels for Scott, and I'm like literally going, ah! And Steve Albini opens the door into the control room while I'm just like, ah! And then
Fantastic.
He's like, oh God, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Which was definitely just a moment of like, what a life. What a life. This guy just fucked up my take.
Who let him in?
And of course, my natural inclination was to apologize to him. And he was like, no, I am sorry. You don't have to be sorry. But then the other thing was when we were recording, when we were singing it, and I can't remember what it is, but there's some word in it that I was just like, that's how you say that word? And I had to like really make myself like, I couldn't pronounce that word how I wanted to pronounce it. I had to like really like focus on saying it how Chris says it, since I was just really doubling his part.
It isn't on the screen, otherwise I'd pull it up for you. Then we can go through it. Oh, you know what? I know where it is, unless it changed.
Now I'm curious what word it was.
It was just like a weird, like you emphasized the something like some syllable at the end that I wasn't emphasizing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I really had to like add that like.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Can we speed read this? Here, we're gonna figure it out. Unless it's changed. Maybe it's changed since then.
No, this should all be current.
Okay. Well,
yep. This is great for the podcast listener.
No, it's great. Everyone's just standing around reading. Yeah, it's real compelling audio.
Oh, it was mend.
Mend. Okay.
Yeah. And I think you pronounced the. There was just some pronunciation thing. I was like, what? And Scott's like, you have to say it like he says it. I'm like,
yes, chef.
Do I really? Yeah. Chris Williams.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on the descriptive audio of right now is 5 men are staring at words on the screen.
Can I tell you? We could do another version of the T-shirt. Say, now that's why I call dudes reading. For that one,
I'll get on that tomorrow. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. No. This one's from several years ago now. So 2019 was that when the single came out?
That's probably I blocked my memory.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's let's see. This is about a breakup that I went through that was pretty terrible and left me pretty messed up. And when we were we wrote it and recorded it so quickly. Like I think this was one of the ones we got together one day, and by the end of that afternoon, we're like, okay, cool. This is what the song sounds like. Yeah. And I hadn't finished the lyrics, and we were recording it for the single, and I was trying to do the vocals, and Evan was nice enough to come in and go, hey, can I take a look at the lyrics? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he looked at him and he was like, it's a lot of words. Have you thought about maybe what are you trying to say here? And so yeah, with Evan's help, it was truncated to a much more reasonable length. This song, this song also has a really like Metsy sort of midsection where
that kind of yeah,
real droney. Yep.
I interrupted you to do an impersonation of it, which I think I don't normally do, but that is indeed kind of what it sounds like.
It would have been great if you were wrong. If I was like, no, not that part.
It's higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be even better for sure. Yeah. Is it?
But yeah, I don't know if I have. Yeah, I don't know. I remember that. I don't know. Like this doesn't matter. I was writing lyrics the day after we saw the live Never Not Funny and Jimmy Pardo stand up, and I wrote all the lyrics in the hotel lobby. Yeah.
I can really hear the hotel lobby in the lyrics.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There's a lot of waffle bar.
Yeah.
It sounds very continental.
Yeah,
Virginia Beach Waffle Bar. Yeah.
There's a whole part about me still being able to taste the California Pizza Kitchen, and yeah.
Oof.
So.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Yeah. What's he? What's the business station? What do they call it? It's like the
business
hotels.
center.
Yeah, and it's like the business center. It's like here's a weird desk and like what apparently was once a closet, and like maybe there's internet.
Yeah, and a fax machine.
Fax machine, baby.
Yeah. If you need to do your business, do it in the business center. That's what I always say. Andy, how do you feel about this one?
I don't know. Pass.
Fuck.
Oh shit, we can do that. Oh man.
Yeah, you can pass. No, I
phone a friend.
Like Chris said. Yeah, like Chris said. The thing I remember most about the song is literally like we wrote this in an afternoon, which was awesome. And we don't tend to really do that. Also, this is I think it's my favorite song to play live. It's kind of complicated, but it also like kind of loosens up a little bit. It does get kind of messy, and it's just super fun. And
yeah. Some people talk about intermezzo. You talk about being a Metzi. You know, it's different. Different strokes, different folks. Cool. All right. So then tell Chris what's going to be you. This is Keep Charging the Enemy.
All right. So my memories of this song were, I think the first time we played this I played this with them was that the last time we played together in 2020 at Thunder Snow, and I definitely did not learn the song very much ahead of time. And I remember being on not the flight from Seattle to Detroit, but our connecting flight to Escanaba from Detroit,
right?
And listening to this on my phone, being like, dude, like I knew the notes I was going to play, but I was like, all right, I think I just need to listen to this. And I was like, basically like airplaying what I was going to play on this song while on the plane, like, because I hadn't practiced it very much. And then when we were recording the song with Scott, I was having some tuning issues with making sure Andy and I were in tune. And so there was a lot of like, the song begins with like Andy doing, like a do do do, and then I come in like on a dun, and we would just go dun. It's gotta be like, nope, at tune, and I'd be like incrementally just making sure I was in tune.
Were you like tuning to the note almost?
I think just because I was in drop D, and we have these metal neck instruments, and if there's temperature change, and as you're playing, there's just weird fluctuations.
Andy's fretting a note and you're not, and
so I think this was like the most frustrating song for me for recording, just purely because I was like, I just want to be in tune. I just want to be in tune. But
right.
Yeah. But I think this, I really, when I was listening to the record today, I really like where this song comes in the sequence. Like, I feel like, this second side, like those first two songs are pretty big, and then this song kind of brings it down.
Yeah.
Like there's just like a different feel to it that a lot of the rest of the record doesn't have. And then, that I think then really works well going into the last song.
It's got good penultimate energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Chris Williams, how do you feel about this one?
So this one and the French song we kept messing up the titles of, right? Like flip flopping which song was which, or maybe it's
Y'all
just me.
did.
Okay, yeah.
I know what sounds French and what doesn't.
Yeah.
One of them Saxon, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, and this one's also named for it's the Exchange song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like long story short, Andy, Evan, and I were in a band very briefly with drummer Tom Limbert, and it was called The Exchange, and we had like maybe an EP's worth of songs. But so one of the titles was Keep Charging the Enemy. Yeah, and like I don't know, a couple times over the years, like stuff from those songs have popped up. Like they're part of Sleep Camel has an old thing from the Exchange song. Anyway, this song is something about Dixie Jacobs from Body Futures. Years ago she introduced me to a podcast called Astonishing Legends. I'm pretty sure I haven't been able to remember totally, but I'm pretty sure that they did an episode on Edgar Cayce, and some of the lyrics from this reference that. And I know that she kind of helped me with some of the lyrics for this one as well. This I don't know. This is it's supposed to be a hopeful song, I think. The end part, I really love the swell at the end of the song that we do. But the words, like, so the morning will find me with the world's blood in my mouth. The morning will find me with the world's good gone. Is against us doing this big swell at the end. And I think that sort of thing is something that we, if I'm going to give us credit for something, I think is something that we do well, is to juxtapose those sorts of things in a number of our songs. I really love playing the song, and I really like. I don't know. It's also much slower than a lot of our other songs.
Different mood. Yeah.
And I think it's also maybe a little shorter than some of our other songs. Not as many parts. I think, yeah.
So, Andy.
So actually, I just remembered the name of the song came from a fortune that I got, like 35 years ago or something, that said, "Keep charging the enemy so long as there's life." And I was like, this is the most badass fortune I ever got.
That's pretty good.
I guess we should name a song after it. And then I had this whole idea for the middle part of the song. When you listen to it, like, there's this kind of breakdown part. I don't know what it's called, but basically we're just like holding one chord. I had this whole idea that it would be like sort of semi-improvised, kind of just weird, and like, we just kind of like have a little bit of a freak out and then come back into this like nice swell part, like Chris said. I think that works pretty well. It's, I don't think that we actually improvise it much, I guess is where I'm going with that. It's pretty, it's like we have to actually play a song, so we don't really improvise much. So, that's kind of neat to kind of like put a little bit of like looseness in there, which I really enjoy. So.
Evan?
In the middle section, part D, I'm looking at my notes because I remember this one. This is one of the ones that I went up there like I was still writing the part the week before we left because I just couldn't. I was like, no, you do that in every song. No, you do that in every song. No, you do that in
You
every
don't
song.
want to repeat yourself. You don't want to.
Sure. And so, eventually came around to something that was not exactly like everything else. But that middle part was really loose for a long time, and it was still it felt pretty loose when we recorded it, but the way it came out was sort of unintended. The way we come out of that phrase and the way the vocals end, I don't think we planned on them going that way. And so we've been trying to do that ever since. Because we figured out how the song worked.
Right. Yeah. You cracked the code, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I really love the fact that this one pulls back into a almost, I've used this analogy before for lots of things, but like when the plane starts to descend and you can feel like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, the power's off all of a sudden. And then the end is so big and hopeful in Friday Night Lights with John Hasty from Nonagon and Chris shouting horrifying apocalyptic words. Yeah. I really like it. Chris
brings it to the last one.
Oh yeah.
Chris Williams. Back to you third time. You're the only one that gets to start a third time.
I'm
not tied to pretty is named it for the.
So I'll let someone else handle the title. But this one, the song, there's something about this that I really that I like, that it's with the start of the song, it feels very loose to me and just very elastic, and it feels like we're kind of in different areas, and I like that over the course of the song it feels like we just build the tension more and more and more, and then when we get to the part where the vocals come in with Evan just doing this, like the most awesome, like when I remember when Evan started playing this drum part in practice, and it's like, that is the coolest fucking thing. Like that is yeah. And it's like, well, I'm working on it. It's like, no. it's amazing. So yeah, I just love how it builds and builds and builds and just becomes this very, very tight thing by the end of it. And there aren't many lyrics to this. This is just, kind of, I think Evan mentioned, like, over the last couple of years, and having to be apart, and just kind of dealing with stuff like that, with my, like, being alone and having to deal with my depression, and just like for such an extended period of time having to deal with that just by myself, with no one else here, just day after day, and just letting it all kind of feed. And so the lyrics have a lot to do with that, and just the kind of the idea of, like, I at a moment's notice I could just destroy everything that I love, and everything that I want, and it would only take a moment for me to do that. So that's kind of where, like, my end of it comes from, and I'll let Evan speak. Evan sings on this, and like, completely just makes what I'm doing I don't know how to say it. It's Evan provides a totally different angle for it that just
it complements it.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. I love when we get to play the song, and it has to do with losing a friend, and the song has a lot of meaning. I mean, not all the songs have meaning to some degree, but this one in particular holds a lot of meaning for me, and I think for all of us. So,
Andy,
yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think this is the last song that we wrote. So this is the newest song, and it wasn't all that long ago that we wrote this. I mean, it wasn't like 2 years ago. It was like
it was like right before we went to record, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was hard to play because it's the newest, freshest song, and I don't even know if we played this out live at all. Which is very uncharacteristic for us, because usually we play songs for like 8 years and then record them and then never play them. Which is a really smart thing to do. That's why we're so successful.
The Maple Stave recipe for success.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, here's a record. Now you know all the sons. You're never gonna play them.
I do remember that when we toured after the last album, Jerry from Freightery was like, you guys have to play the songs off the album. Like, yeah, I know that you wrote other songs, but part of tour is that you play the songs on the album to sell the album. I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Sure.
The songs are old. We played them so much. God, what are these new songs? Anyway, this song is actually 2 different songs for me. I mean, just when you listen to it too, it's like the first half is pretty much like this crazy instrumental song that's pretty complicated, and it just turns into this whole different thing, which is really cool, and is like the best way to sort of close out this record. It's fantastic. It's amazing how it came together, and I think the whole "Not Tied to Pretty" thing is because Chris and I were working on this, and it started off as like a very like, oh, this is like a really nice little song. And then I'm like, hey, why don't we like make it into this crazy thing?
Right.
Oh, whoops, sorry. I kind of messed up your song, and now it's something completely different. Is that okay? It's like, yeah, sure. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, and yeah, or I think Evan said something about it being pretty, and I said, oh, I'm not tied to pretty.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
There you go. There it is. The titular line.
That's when
I'm tired of all these Star Wars. Yeah. So tired of it. Evan.
Yeah, when we were writing it, and it really was just a few weeks before we went up there. We were going back and forth between some harsher parts and some quieter parts, and I was really just asking which way to go with the drum stuff. I was like, do you want this part to be more pretty, or do you want it to be more heavy? And Chris said, I'm not tied to pretty. I said, that's the name of the song now. Yeah, this one was another scary one that I wasn't sure I was ready to play. It's got a couple different things that I've been wanting to try to do by different people. I mean, the first part is very Chad Moulter from Farracat. I was trying to do a lot of kind of loose stuff like that. And then there's more fun straight time, and then there's weird rolls across the kit. And the end of the song, it is a really, really amazing part, but I didn't write it. It's by probably one of my favorite drummer, Jerry Fuchs, from Maserati, and
Turing Machine,
and it's from a Turing Machine song. And I've been chasing that, how to do it, for a long time, and it seemed right for this song, because this song did feel like a song about all of the loss and hard stuff that had happened. I mean, I had we lost a friend named Brad last year, and he and I had just gone on a trip a few months before that. He came to North Carolina just on a whim, and we went rock climbing because we had that in common. We would text each other about climbing all the time, and I texted him a picture of what rocks in North Carolina looked like. He's like, "Fuck yeah!" And then he bought a plane ticket and went climbing. And it's a very Brad thing to do. I spent a really great day climbing and talking and hanging out. And on the way back, I needed to get gas. And he was like, "I got it." And I started to be like, "Nah, it's, you flew all the way here." And he's like, "You will lose this argument." Just not even prepared to have a discussion with me about it. And that line stuck in my head from that day on and changed drastically not that long later. And I've had a number of folks over the course of the last couple of years. I got sober too, and I've been around communities that have lost a lot of people as well, who have lost arguments. And so that's the part I think that Chris is talking about, that I was like, I would like for this part to be in this song. I think it fits. But yeah, I love playing this song. It's very hard, both physically and it's a very emotional song. Yeah, I mean, this is a long time that Andy and I do this thing, and I do the Turing machine thing, trying to keep his parts alive because he was the best. Cool. Fun. I remember how I like joy and fun. I like joy and fun.
Can't be joy and fun all the time, though. You're a pop punk band. Singing about pizza and how great it is that there's pizza around. Great.
Oh man, pizza. Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy there's pizza around too. I don't feel the need to sing songs about it. I don't know. It seems pretty self-evident. No, but I mean, that's sorry.
Pizza is self-evident.
You got that one for free. That's yours if you want.
Thank you.
No, but I mean, it's all heavy stuff, and it is nice to be able to remember people, even if it's just this little ephemera and doggerel. Not that I'm saying that's what this is, but like these little pieces here and there. They get to live on in that way, which is beautiful in its way. Well, tell Chris, follow that.
So this was definitely the last song that they was worked on for the record, and so I have this thing where the three of them are writing these songs. They send me a recording to learn, and usually my first thing is, I don't understand how this song works. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't understand the count. I don't understand how these parts flow together. It's like the first listen, I'm usually like, oh, fuck, I have no idea what, huh? And then I work on it more, and then by the time I actually get in person with them, and it feels pretty comfortable. I think this was also one where they sent me a recording of it. I started working on it. I had a part done, and then like 2 weeks later, they're like, "Oh yeah, we changed some stuff," and then there was like a new version of it. Sorry.
Hey, you know what you had? Forget it.
We meant to set that. Yeah.
It wasn't like dramatically different, but it was definitely like, okay. And then, but this was like the song. Like, I just remember us playing to this song. I mean, we hadn't everything else on the record we'd played live. I had practiced with them, at various times. This, like this song we worked on. Like, I flew to Durham. We practiced for a couple of days before going up to Chicago to record, and like playing this song in Evan's practice space at his house the first time, it was just like, holy shit, this song is awesome. And it was really excited that like there was vocals on this ending section.
Yeah.
And it just all like that. I don't know. There was just like specifically being in that practice space, hearing all of us play this song together the first time, like with that, before even knowing what the subject matter or anything was about, it just like was like holy shit, I get to be in this band. Like this is astounding. Like I can't believe that like I get to like, you know, do over this. Like this is amazing. And then again, just being in the studio and like hearing Chris and Evan's vocals over this, like the first time, just, I mean, there's been a handful of times in my like career in rock where like somebody else has done something and I'm just like, holy shit.
Right.
Like, I can't believe that I get to do this. And like, hearing their vocals on this, like the other time I can really think of is there's a Police Teeth song called Psychedelic Vasectomy that like the first time I heard James Burns sing that song in the studio and heard those lyrics and like knew exactly what he was singing was just like, I mean, even just thinking about it now, like the hairs are standing up, like, and then, you know, the same thing, like hearing these vocals in the room the first time, like was just like, just really one of the best moments that I've ever had in getting to play music.
Hell yeah.
It was fun.
So the record's called Arguments. You can get that at maplestave.bandcamp.com. It's available digitally as well as a gorgeous vinyl edition. Really not skimping at all in the vinyl edition. Very 180 gram, solid stuff. Like if you're into vinyl, highly recommended. Sounds great on it as well. So what is on the record also sounds good, which I sometimes gets lost in the conversation.
The vinyl is top notch.
The vinyl, no, what's on trash. What's on is trash.
Yeah. It's not even our band. We've just been talking about our songs.
Yeah.
We just had them throw whatever extras they had at
it's wish casting.
Not a group. Yeah, they just
cameo or something.
They just filled it up. Yeah.
Although that happened with Cabaret Voltaire, right? Where it was there was like what was it? Was the Taylor Swift record? And then fantastic. And then some people were like, "Hey, it's pretty good."
Good direction, Tay-Tay.
Very confused, but pretty good.
I'll follow Tay-Tay wherever she goes.
Even if it sounds like Cabaret Voltaire. So go. I'll of course I'll link it in the show notes, all that good stuff. And so what's next? Gonna play some shows. Gonna do some of the
This is it. We're at like whenever this ends. Like
that's why he wore a suit.
This Protonic reversal was the that was the sum totality.
This is my wedding funeral suit. So you know,
and Protonic suit. So
Oh yes, exactly. You noticed.
I feel honored to be in included in those momentous occasions.
Well, it's after 5. What am I, a farmer?
Am I a monster?
Fantastic. Anything else you'd like folks to know? Because again, depending on when folks are listening to this, if they'll see it live, it hasn't happened yet. But I think August 1st, right, is when the Gen Pop, I call it, gets to hear it.
Yeah,
the first single. So like, I really don't want to give these guys money. I want to listen for free. Then they can do that.
Yeah, it'll be on Spotify. It's supposed to be on Spotify as of the 1st. And the
all
band,
the sharecropping stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then August 26th here in Durham is going to be our the album release show, and it's also our 20th anniversary show.
Fantastic.
And,
I'll be there.
Oh yeah, this will be there. And we're gonna play with our friends 3 Body Problem and Blab School, and that's gonna be at the Pinhook here in Durham.
Very cool.
And then at the end of September, we're doing a tour for is it 9 days? I think
9 or 10. Yeah,
9 or 10. Yeah. So we'll be going up through up into the Midwest, playing Cincinnati, Louisville, Chicago, Milwaukee, Manitowoc,
Manny,
Detroit.
wow.
Yeah, Detroit.
From Manitowoc listeners, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
There actually might be one. I don't know. No.
we'll take it. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. We're gonna get to see a number of friends, and we're gonna get to play with you.
That's right. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
I like interrogate you, but I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna play with you.
Yeah. In Louisville, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah.
The Snitzelberg the Snitzelberg walk, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's great! That thing is awesome."
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
I have no idea what it is, but it sounds great.
Yeah.
Trust Elliot.
So exactly always in all things the chillest, raddest dude, worthy of your trust for sure. Cool. And there is an Instagram account. There seems to be stuff on it now, so that's good.
Yeah. After Chris taught us how to use Instagram, now we use Instagram. So
as we were literally sitting in the airport in Durham to fly up to Caterwall last year, and I was like, "Well, you guys have an Instagram."
Yeah.
What we do?
Well,
yeah, I follow it.
No, it's someone
the first.
Yeah, no. It was the night before we had played a show to get ready for it to come up.
Yeah.
And a woman that lives here, Grayson, was talking to us about actually, kind of advertising ourselves and doing some sort of public relations. And she goes, "Oh, well, and you have an Instagram?" And we're like, I mean, I think. And she's like, "No, you do." And it was like, "Oh wow, we don't even have an avatar on that. That's not great."
You sure didn't.
Yeah. So now there's like 15 things on it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, and for such deeply thoughtful, hilarious, and creative dudes, it seems like you could, scrounge up some content for the old internet.
Trying to figure it out. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like 2 days. I was like 2 days late to our 20th anniversary. I got everything ready and was like, "Oh yeah, I found the old flyer from our first show and whatever." Yeah. And then 2 days later, it's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. That's why I got this out." Well, that's good. Yeah. So.
Well, there you go. That's a long way of saying follow them on Instagram because apparently they use it sometimes.
It's a great follow.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't expect to be overwhelmed with content, maybe. But
no.
It's
hit the bell for notifications and
smash it.
There's a Facebook page as well if that's more your vibe.
I would. If you're looking for content, I would stick to the Instagram because I don't know that we use the Facebook.
Okay.
God, we're really bad at this, but maybe in 20 more years we'll get better at advertising ourselves.
The social media director.
Our social media manager's been laid up with his foot thing, so hasn't been able to
post. Somehow hasn't managed to watch Top Gun despite laying around.
It's a good movie. I mean,
very important.
It's you'll probably recognize all the homages immediately. Like, that's the thing,
I've seen enough bits from it. I know.
Yeah.
You're gonna fly to town for the release show. We're gonna rush through practice just so we can watch Top Gun.
Exactly. I'll say this, Chris. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
It's worth watching.
It just, it just didn't happen. I don't know how it didn't happen.
Brennan Canty had never seen Back to the Future until he stayed at our house, and then I was, and even Joe Lally was like, "You've never seen Back to the Future?
What?
How's that possible?" He was like, "No, what's it about?"
What's it about?
It's about a young boy falling in love with his mom.
Touching story.
Yeah.
Of Oedipal. Yeah.
There we go. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you, I guess September. Yeah, about a month and change. Yeah. Yep. So it's great record. And like I said, I'll throw it all in the show notes and all that good business. And Yeah. Thanks for coming on
Thanks
the
for
show.
having us.
Appreciate having you.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye.
All right. There they go. Mighty Man of Maple Stave. I'm going to play us out with one of the songs on the new record here. Let's actually, I'm going to put on Downtown Julie Brown. I like that one. And this will be an exclusive. I don't have a sound effect. Sorry.
This thing on.
That's a very unsettled transition there. But anyway, if you want to hear the rest of it, you can go to maplestave.bandcamp.com. Get the arguments. Listen for yourself. Listen for your own damn self. What am I, the boss of you? Certainly not. And you can get that there. Follow them on Instagram. Clever dudes, clever fellas. Read band. Pleasure to have them on this Protonic Reversal.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, the name of the show is Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. Thank you so much for listening to it. This has been episode 345. Wow, that's a lot of episodes of this show. You can find this show streaming on YouTube and Twitch Thursdays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific.
As we come to the
every week. Archives are available for free. Protonicreversal.com. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. But if you like the show and you want to support it, $1 a month at patreon.com/Protonic Reversal will gladly achieve that goal and help us put this flying circus together. Thanks for folks sharing the episodes around, liking, subscribing to your platform of choice, even leaving a review, as corny as that sounds.
50,000 watts of power.
All that helps people discover the show, and it beats back the almighty algorithmic overlords. Just start a nice thing to do, so thank you for it.
Ionize the air.
Lots of great stuff coming up. Randy Randall of No Age next week. Should be a good time. There's so much stuff coming up, I can't even keep track of it. But stay tuned. Easy solution. Stay tuned, right? Stay safe out there.
Out on Route 128.
Check you later.
Dark and lonely. I got my radio on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Welcome to my top 10. I'd like to thank our sponsor. But we haven't got a sponsor. Not if you were the last man on Earth. She was prepared to prove it. This one goes out to a special girl. There is no special girl. It's the end of radio. The last announcer plays the last record. The last what? Leaves the transmitter. Circles the globe in search of a listener. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Is it really broadcasting if there's no one there to receive? radio. As we come to the close of our broadcast day, got my radio